Alright guys, so for tonight's dinner, it's arepas. If you're new to that, it's basically a cornmeal and we muster it back and forth in our hands and make little arepas. It'll make more sense in a minute. A key ingredient is Mexican crema. Make sure you have a bunch of that. And then you got some salami, some Munster cheese we go with, some more lunch meat, and then sometimes you have like corn that you put in there. Over there in Venezuela and Colombia, you'll have all kinds of pork and different kind of meats, and they get really fun with it, but we're just gonna do it here camp style. So the first thing that you want to do, pop this guy open, and we went with the Goya. Another brand is Pan, and that's a really good brand. They have like the white, the yellow, and the orange. So sometimes arepas are sweet, but we're gonna put a bit of water in there. Guys, there's an ingredients list, but we don't even worry about that. So a bit of fresh water. Then the next thing is some salt. So you want to get that in there first, and then we go in with the cornmeal. Now, as I told you guys, we were already at the dump station today, so let's hope I washed my hands, because this is one of those meals where you just get after it with your hands. Traveling around the world, we've got to see how different people live, and I think you'll find there's a lot of cultures that use their hands a lot more than we do, but we're just mixing it up a little bit. I had too much water, so I added some more cornmeal there, and that's about the consistency that we're looking for. Right now I could play with it and it doesn't really stick to my hands anymore. And so you actually just let that sit for like a minute, maybe a little bit longer. So while that's sitting, we're gonna get the pan hot. So we decided today just to cook on this little bottle top cooker. We're outside, we're at a beautiful campsite, so what better than to actually cook outside and get out of that tin box for a minute. It's a great place to be, but especially if it's raining, but I'm an outside dog, so I like being out as much as I possibly can. So now it's a really kind of thick substance, if you will, and you can kind of break a chunk of it off. And now it's that kind of like rolling it into a ball and then back and forth a million times. And it starts cracking a little bit. I don't really like that, so I'm gonna put it back. I'm gonna put a little bit of water on my hands. Rinse my hands. Now my hands are wet, and that's gonna help a little bit. So I'm gonna make it into a ball one more time, and then we'll be good to go. That for me, guys, is a really good arepa. It's really thick, and that way we can slice it in half and stuff it with all this stuff that we brought. So that one's ready to go. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wet my hands again. And we always make a bunch of extra arepas because these are best actually the day after, with a couple of fried eggs and some of that Munster cheese, and it just doesn't get better, guys. That's the best breakfast out there. It's better than your Egg McMuffin, I can guarantee you that one. And that one's ready. Again, the other brand is Pan, and you can find this at Safeway, City Market, whatever little grocery store you guys have, it'll be there. So now this is on medium, low, maybe. It's hard to tell with this guy, but as that thing's cooking, like I said, I'm gonna start preparing 2 more because we need these for breakfast tomorrow. So it's been a few minutes, guys, and I want to say that none of these arepas would be possible in my life if it wasn't for our buddies. Lizuti and her mom taught us this. Now my wife, she's from Chile, but arepas aren't such a thing down in Chile. It's more of a Venezuelan and Colombia type of food. So these guys are really hot and they're warm. I'm gonna take this one off and start showing you how we make them. So we slice it open, and while it's still really, really warm, you want to get that cheese in there because that's that melty goodness that we're looking for. So the cheese is always the first thing to go in. Like I said, you could have corn is probably something that I'm missing. And I know my friends, if they're watching, they're going to judge my technique and all that. But you know what, guys, hopefully this will give you a little bit of courage or empowerment, as they say, to get out and try kind of new meals or new things. Maybe you can try this and let me know down in the comments below if you were successful. Maybe it took you a couple times. Maybe you got it on the first try. So just whatever kind of lunch meat you have lying around, this is one of those meals that, as long as you have the cornmeal and a bit of cheese, whatever kind of cheese you pick up, I bet you can make this with what you have right there in your house. And then it's just heaps and heaps of crema, and make sure and keep the crema close by because you're going to keep going back for that. Now friends, we're going to sit here and enjoy these arepas, watching the beautiful little lake, hanging out at this campsite. We're going to enjoy the power. Like I said, it's the first time we've been plugged in for about a month because we're completely just off the grid 24/7. We might mess around a little bit in the morning, but chances are this is the last bit you'll see of this campground. Now don't forget, guys, tomorrow night we're staying at Burns Lake, and then we're staying at Monument Lake. So hang back for those campsites as well, and we're going to see what kind of fun we can have in the next couple days.